2013 and 2014. So for 2 years, they have pledged that 10 billion. We are hopeful that we get those pledges and that it will not be like the fast start. Because our problem in Copenhagen was that we have the pledges of the fast track up to the end of 2012. And then we had pledges from 2020. Therefore, you can see that there is a gap between 2013 and 2020. And this is what we are trying to address. We have not addressed it yet. And then the mitigation pledges, they have been put together. We also put it together with the finance pledges because mitigation has to go up. If it does not, and if we go by the pledges by now, small island states and island cities like Banjul would be perished. Therefore, we need the ambition level of those Annex 1 countries to increase their level of ambition and also increase the level of ambition in terms of finance. Finance will cover, of course, technology transfer, or technology development and transfer. It will also cover adaptation and mitigation and capacity building, which is always in together with them.
So thank you very much, Honorable Minister. It seems at least we have something in the pipeline. Yeah. But let me just go over to Mr. Pausman Jaju, who is the technical arm of not only the Gambia, but the least developed countries, the 48 least developed countries. He was responsible directly for negotiating a deal on behalf of the least developed countries, including the Gambia. Mr. Pausman Jaju, I'm sure you had it very tough, but you are at least happy that you got a deal in Doha.
Yes, Ismaila, we got a deal, and as the minister stated, it was a balanced package that would entail some of what we want and some of what the others wanted. We had a package where our insistence on the second commitment period of the Kyoto Protocol being agreed in Doha was achieved in one way. We insisted that there must be an outcome on the second commitment period of the Kyoto Protocol. We also went with the desire to have a shorter period in terms of the length of the second period of 5 years, but we got 8 years, which was the position of the European Union and others. So there we had a compromise. As the minister stated, we were dictated by science that we need to do more. That is why she was referring to the level of ambition. We need to do more. According to the IPCC, we need to decrease between 25%
IPCC,
and
that's the
Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Yeah. We need to decrease between 25% to 40% by 2020, using 1990 as the base year. But what we have agreed is a percentage of minus 18 degrees for those parties who have agreed. So it is far less than what was desired. But what we also got as a group was that we went with the aspiration of getting a national adaptation plan agreement. We have got that. They would fund the LDCs in developing national adaptation plans framework. We insisted that those parties who are not interested in the second commitment period of the Kyoto Protocol would not benefit from the mechanisms of the Kyoto Protocol. And that was the analogy that if you are not interested in a tree, you should not benefit from the fruits. And we also got that. We came with the loss and damage negotiations. We thought loss and damage is very important. We are feeling the impacts and we incur a lot of losses. There must be a liability from the developed countries who are responsible. We have agreed at a certain level in the sense that we have a language that is calling for an international mechanism. This year we would continue discussing those issues. In terms of finance, we were disappointed in the sense that we wanted funding, but what we got are pledges from 4 countries, as the minister stated, but those are climate finance. They are not as clear, as explicit as even the Copenhagen pledges, because they said climate finance. And when you talk of climate finance, you can channel your ODA and you say it is climate finance. So we hope, the devil is in the details. We hope during the course of this year we would see what kind of climate finance these countries would do. But we are certain also that it is going to be true bilateral, and being bilateral means not everybody would benefit from those pledges. And one thing that we were also pushing was the Durban platform for enhanced action. We felt that as the most vulnerable countries, everybody must take climate change seriously and everybody must contribute, taking into consideration the challenges that we are facing in the future, and the fact that America, which is historically responsible for what is happening, must really take bold steps, and also China, India, who are also emitting more, although historically they are not responsible. We need to find means of ensuring that everybody is on board. Although, if you look at the analysis that we have had over the years, the developing countries are doing more than the developed countries in total. But to sum it, we have agreed on a balance package, and we wanted to salvage the process. We are also in very dire situations in terms of the economic crisis that is happening, and taking that into consideration, we had to give them some breathing space and hope that they would try to see how they can assist us. So I think it's a glass half full. We are always aiming for a full glass, but since Copenhagen, we are just achieving a glass half full, and that is the way forward.
Okay, a glass half full. Well, what about the green fund? The green fund, and then I think you also have other mechanisms like the LDCF, the Least Developed Country Fund. What do you have?
We wanted the capitalization and the operationalization of the Green Climate Fund because in Copenhagen there were pledges of 100 billion US dollars by 2020, and now we have established the fund. We have a host of the fund. Some countries have pledged millions towards really the administrative operation of the Green Fund in terms of the meetings. But in terms of the Least Developed Country Fund, we were mobilizing up to 3 billion US dollars, but we have right now 650 million US dollars, and the Least Developed Country Fund, of course, is managed by the Global Environment Facility, the GEF, and the Executive Director of the NEA is the representative of the Global Environment Facility. As of now, each least developed country member is to access maximum of 20 million US dollars from that 650 million US dollars. And the Gambia is fortunate that we would be accessing more than 20 million US dollars. So taking a slide from the cake, I think so far we have done more than the other countries, and I think that is something that we have to applaud the team of the Gambia, both those who went and those who stayed behind in developing and proposals towards us really having climate change projects in both agriculture, coastal, and early warning, and also under fisheries.
Yeah, those responsible for the backup and, of course, the political support that we have in the country. I'm sure the Honorable Minister would like to elaborate on that in due course. But let me just come to Mr. Passar. As I rightly mentioned, you are the representative of the Global Environment Facility, GEF. Your agency, the National Environment Agency, is also a stakeholder in terms of environmental issues, and you were in Doha. Can you just give us a feel of what you went through in Doha, what you got from Doha?
Yes. Thank you very much. Just like my minister said, and also my colleague Pausman, we didn't get what we expected. But it's better to avoid a collapse than to have a process that would continue. Because if you look at the text of the agreements in Doha, they are very vague in many cases. But it allows you to continue dialogue, because there was a time, you were there,